Hey, welcome back to SpruTube. Starting a new build. It's the Academy 135th M3A1 Stuart. So yeah, let's open it up. It's got usual stuff in it. Got the instructions, very important. Sprues, equally important. So yeah, I'm just gonna get started. I cut out the pieces for the first step, cleaned them up, and glued them together. These are the first little parts for the suspension. This holds onto the road wheels. There's two for each side. Then I cut out the road wheels. Just normal process. Cut them out, clean them up. There's these little bracket pieces that hold the whole system together too. So yeah, like I've said before, I use this file and then this sanding stick. The file is pretty aggressive and the sanding stick has multiple grits on it, so I just get finer and finer with the sanding product. And then I just keep going till it's smooth. At least for this tank, there's not that many wheels. Like if I was doing a Panther or something, that would be a lot of wheels. But with this one, there's just 8 road wheels, 2 drive sprockets, and 2 idler wheels. So I'm already putting together the little road wheel construction. Trying to fit it together, my first attempt was a failure. Then I started doing it on the table, which really helped keep it all together. And then I just did it 3 more times. At this point, all 4 of them are identical, but later on, other pieces get added on, so there's 2 sets of 2. And the last one. And we're zooming. So here I am attaching the first parts that I made. They kind of fit together sort of strangely. You had to wiggle them in together somehow, and then I glued them with my Tamiya extra thin cement. Still at this point, all 4 of these are identical. There's just a little piece that gets added on top of that is different. Last one. And we're golden. Wait a second. There we go. So I only needed one of the wheels because this is only one of the idler wheels. It's a really big idler wheel compared to the other wheels. Oh, now I need it back. But yeah, usually I feel like the idler wheel's pretty small, but on the Stuart it's actually quite large. The drive sprocket, I guess, is a pretty normal size, or at least normal in scale to the tank. Yeah, I feel like the drive sprocket and the road wheels are pretty normal sized. And of course the return rollers, which I just glued on. They're not evenly spaced out, which I find interesting. I think it's just so that the tracks don't hit the top of the suspension. We're just jumping all around. Here's the back plate, I believe. Putting on little handles for the hatches and the little eyes for the whatchamacallit. I'll think of it. Hold on. Processing. Tow cables. Yes, these are the little attachments for the tow cables. Yeah, the piece fit on pretty well actually, and held itself in place while I glued it. That was pretty nice. And one of the return rollers came off, so I put it back on and then decided to slather some more glue on all of them so they wouldn't come back off. So now this is the point where it becomes two sets of two suspension things. Yeah, there's the little rounded things that I imagine are to keep the tracks from hooking on to the top of the suspension things. But yeah, they face different directions. And here there's some little hooks that go on the side. And now I'm putting the tow cable hooks on the front too. I believe this is a radio. It's not visible from the outside once it all comes together, but yeah, it faces the inside. I was kind of surprised that this tank has a full interior. I didn't know that it did when I got it, and I was just gonna build it on the outside and paint it on the outside and do all the weathering on the outside. But I think I'm actually going to, for the next video, paint the inside, which I've never done before. And I built the entire inside off camera because my camera died, and it was a lot of very finicky things. But yeah, there were a few little machine gun canisters here. But the inside's pretty basic. There's just some bits of engine, maybe, I don't know, a couple chairs, a couple levers. And now onto the top. I'm flying through it. You had the option at this point to have these two panels with the machine guns or with little covering plates, and I decided to go with the machine guns because more guns makes it more cool. But what am I doing here? Oh, little headlights. I remember what happened. I didn't build this days ago. It's fine. Yeah, so assembling the headlights. But like I said, the next video is going to be painting the interior. And then the next one after that, painting the exterior. I'm not sure how painting the inside's gonna go. I've never done that before. I've done some open-top vehicles, like I've done a Martyr 3. I didn't paint a lot of the interior. I kind of did a poor job. That was like my third tank that I ever built. So hopefully by now I'll be a little bit better. If you have any tips, be sure to let me know. If you're an expert at this, unlike me. The dreaded headlight covers on American tanks. Never easy, never in scale. I know that everyone hates them. They didn't give me too much trouble, at least. The next piece is sort of the front plate, other than the hatches, which isn't a lot because the hatches take up most of the front. You'll see that I decide to put the machine gunner side hatch closed, like so. There we go. But I decided to leave the driver's hatches open. I was hoping to fit a driver figure inside the tank, but I've tested it out and I don't think he fits. But he might make an appearance sort of popping out of the hatch. And as you can see here, the hatch didn't want to stay up without me holding it. So what I ended up doing was cutting a thick chunk of sprue and getting it to the right height and sticking it in from underneath. You can see I kept measuring the height of it to make sure it worked. Yeah, there it is in there, holding the hatch up while the glue does its magic. There's also this front piece for the hatch I thought was interesting. Now, it wasn't just the vertical piece, but there was also a horizontal piece. And then I'm not sure exactly what this part I'm putting on is now. It might be the gun support, or it could be a tripod for a machine gun that can come out of the tank. I don't know. This model has the option of making it a Soviet tank instead of an American one. So this is one of the parts that would have been different. I think they had different gas caps for the Soviet tanks. But other than that, it's pretty much identical. There's decals for the different nationalities, countries, armies, what have you. Oh, this part gave me a lot of problem. I got it in though, off camera, with a lot of struggle. And also I drilled out these holes that needed to be here. I used a little drill. Who'd have thought? So now I'm putting on this little plate that has stoplights on it, I guess. Not stoplights, what are they? Brake lights. That's the word. I know how to drive. Not to brag, but I do know how to drive. Yeah, those parts were a little tricky to get in. And then these, probably something to do with exhaust parts. There's just one tube thing on either side. Fit into the holes that I drilled with the drill. Then after that, I let it sit for a bit, I guess. Oh, there's a little antenna mount. I'm not sure if I want to try to make an actual antenna for this. If I do, I might try to do the stretched sprue method, which I've never tried, but might. Kind of scares me, but I'll try it, maybe. No promises. But I think it would be cool to have an actual antenna. I'll probably have to check reference pictures to see how long it has to be. And then there's these mud flaps. I tried my best to make them even with each other. I don't know if it was a losing battle or not. And then I put it up on my glue, which magically turned into a bottle of primer instead. And I continued attaching parts, waiting for the glue to fully set on the mud flaps before setting it down on them, because I didn't want them to bend out of place. The tools on the back really show you how small the Stuart actually is. Like the shovel is almost as wide as the main part of the body. I don't really have a plan for a paint scheme or an idea of like where this ostensibly was deployed, so let me know in the comments if you have any suggestions. I believe the decals are for the Russian tank, and then I think also Marine Corps Stuart and another one. I'm not sure where. I know these were mostly used in North Africa. But anyway, the building, I built the gun. It was a little finicky, so I did it off screen. But I attached a couple more parts slightly on screen. I don't know why, but the machine gun that's attached to the main gun There were two little pins for aligning it, and they were just sheared off when I got the model. So it was a little hard to get it in the right spot. I think it's pointing up a little too high, so I had to bend it into place later on when I put some more panels on the front of the turret. And then I built this, which was the most finicky part, because I didn't realize you had to put the top ring on first. Those little foot spots or seats or whatever they are, those are 3 separate parts. Ugh, that was really annoying. But I'm nearly done. I just have to put some more details on the turret itself. I thought about having the hatches open and having someone popping out of them, but the holes are way too small for the figures I have. I don't know how a human being was supposed to fit through those. There's also these little vision ports, 3 of them, on each side and the back. They fit in pretty well, glued in easily. And then there was a couple little loops, maybe for lifting it with a crane or tying it down, putting the turret on, taking it off maybe. Who knows? I'm not a tank builder. That'd be cool though. Well, I guess I am a tank builder. I'm building a tank right now. Wow. And there's a couple more little bits. This little hatch. Not a hatch, it's not a hatch. It's a view thingy, viewport. Periscope. Made sure it was pointing forward, so the imaginary crew can see the imaginary enemies. So yeah, there's just 2 little periscopes, the 2 hatches. This one has to go in from the bottom. And then there's some little plates to protect the periscopes. The one on the left has 2 little rounded flaps in front of it, and then they both have little covers. It's pretty cool. So yeah, here's the first set of details on the turret. Now I have to attach the gun to the lower half of the turret, the little basket part. Just glued it down, waited a little bit, made sure it was secure. And then I decided to glue the 2 halves of the turret together. It would be easier for me to take the lower part out. So then it was just a matter of gluing the 2 halves together. I just put some glue around all the edges. Then there was the front piece, which went over the gun and then attached to the main part of the turret. Again, just glued it on and accidentally spun the turret around. Really cool, like a skateboard trick. And then there's this little mount for the top machine gun. Just a couple pieces to glue on. It's pretty easy. This was the part where I had to bend the machine gun down a little bit, and then it just went over the gun. And then I built this machine gun off screen because it was finicky, and it's done! Yay! Here's my M3A1 Stuart, and here it goes. Bye! Yeah, this was a pretty fun build. I was surprised that it had an interior, surprised it keeps running away. I think it'll be fun to paint. Interested to try to do the interior. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching. Thank you for watching. Come back next time when I paint the inside and then the outside and then some mud. I'm gonna do mud. It's gonna be fun. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.